How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Where do you feel like you're at right now in terms of your career here at LSU? I think Coach Kelly, your first year, said you were trying to find that confidence and that, hey, I can play in the SEC and whatnot. And after that big touchdown the other night, some of the other big touchdowns, where do you feel like you're at right now?
I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I'm just taking it step by step and trying to take the big leap and finish the season off strong this year.
When you had a chance to go back and look at the Alabama tape, did they do anything that were making you guys give you some trouble to score potentially, or do you think you guys can build up moving forward?
Nah, Alabama didn't do nothing. It was mainly us. We have to fix the little things, the details, like discipline and routes. Alabama didn't stop us. We stopped ourselves mainly. So.
That touchdown you had the other night, is that you talked at your body control? Because if you would have gone down at the one, it might have been a tough spot.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. The score against Alabama, that was amazing. I don't know how I got in there. I just got in there. It was a great feeling.
What's it been like to play behind or play with, I should say, Malik and Brian and this trifecta you guys have right now?
It's amazing. Those guys come to practice every day, prepare the right way. They attack everything 100%. And it's amazing to watch those guys do what they do every single day.
And what's the preparation like this week with Jayden or Garrett, or how are you guys going to approach it?
For that question, I would say both of those guys can lead us to a W, so it doesn't matter who really goes out there.
What are you seeing in Florida? What are the challenges with this team?
It's not really a big challenge. We're just gonna come day to day. We're gonna, like Coach Kelly said after the game, good is not good enough, so we have to prepare. And if we want to be elite, we got to do the little things right.
What would you say the morale is of the team overall? I mean, the Alabama game is always a big, spectacle and hype and everything. Sometimes it's hard to bounce back from that game, win or lose. So, what do you think the team is right now?
We all on the same page. Like I said, we just trying to get 1-0 this week and keep stacking days.
How have things been practice-wise? Has Jayden got progressed yet, or is it still Nussmeier?
It's a day-to-day process. If Jayden could go, he's going to go. If Nuss can go, we're just going to roll.
How confident are you guys, though, in Nuss's abilities? You kind of mentioned it, ready to roll.
I have the same confidence in him as Jayden. They both can lead us to a dub, like I said earlier. So I know if Jayden can't go, he's going to lead on Nuss and be there for Nuss when he needs him. So.
Yeah, Kyren, sticking with the QBs, like I know you said, you have the same confidence in each other, but they're kind of different style players. Is there like a wrinkle here for Jayden, a wrinkle for Garrett, or is it kind of the same for you guys?
I feel like it's really the same. They both gonna give us the ball, give us a great opportunity for yards after catch.
In today's college football with social media, which can be real nasty, right? So when you had some of the drops, how did you deal with that, and how do you, as a young athlete, deal with that when things don't go well?
Most definitely, that's a great question. I take a break from social media, like in the season. Like I just like to watch TikTok because it brings me away from all of those negative things. But you got to know what comes with it when you're a football player. You're gonna have a lot of good and you're gonna have a lot of bad. So that's how I look at it.
I know one of those games. You told Coach Kelly I owe you one, and he said, "Oh, you owe me two."
Most definitely, that was an amazing experience. To see all those coaches have like confidence in me that I was gonna bounce back from that, because last year maybe I wouldn't have done that. So to see the coaches have that kind of confidence in me to after the big drop, well, I don't think it was a drop. I think the DB just swatted it, but it feels like a drop because I could have had it. But to see everybody have that confidence in me to go back out there and play, it just boosts your confidence up way more.
And a lot of people dream of playing football at LSU, but do you think it takes guts to put yourself out there and put yourself?
Step to go out there every Saturday and play. Man, you got to be a dog. So.
What did you take a look at after the Alabama game, and what can you guys improve on in terms of getting off the field there on third down?
I think just as a defense, just executing better. I think it's just leverage issues. It's one thing that I took away. I would say just that, executing to a high level and just leveraging on third down, especially quarterback.
Yeah. So after this loss, over the years, there's so much sometimes invested in the Alabama game, and maybe it's hard to move on. What's the overall collective feel of the team now moving forward? To, try to win 10 games and do some of those things.
I mean, well, of course, after you lose a game, you don't feel good. But I think where we're headed right now with these last 3 games is just chasing improvement, making sure that we're playing better than we played last week, better than we played 2 weeks ago, better than we played 3 weeks ago, and just chasing improvement.
How do you guys emotionally handle all the injuries that have come to your defense? Kind of fight through those.
I mean, we always talk about a next man up mentality. So, when somebody go down, the next man got to step up. And, that's the way it is on every team, for real. It should be on every team. And that's the same way with us. That's kind of what we have, that next man up mentality.
Yeah, as far as the defensive coaching staff and D-line in particular, I mean, you guys have had a lot of different coaches this year. What is that like, and how do you take a little bit from each one of them?
I mean, I think each one, has their own, thing that they bring to the D-line room. But at the end of the day, technique, executing, and just whipping the man in front of you. And in a way, we try to, use all these coaching to try to just do that. That's our main goal.
When you have a quarterback kind of have his way wrestling the ball against defense like that, how do you guys kind of take that response next week when you get to the field?
I mean, of course, we just go back, we watch film, we see, for the coaches, they see, things they could have done better to put us in better positions. And then for the team, it's just, seeing what we could do better within the call to make that happen. And yeah, I mean, for real, it's really it. Just taking film and then going back to the next practice field.
How's this first season here at LSU in the SEC kind of going for you?
I like it. Yeah, I love it here at LSU. I think developing really good. Improving every week. And that's all I can ask for as a player, just making sure I'm improving every week, making sure I'm always a plus factor for the defense, and just doing my job and whipping the man in front of me.
I know you played in big environments before, but a game like LSU versus Alabama, what did you kind of take away from that? You got another one coming up coming into town.
Yeah. I mean, that's one to remember for sure. Growing up watching LSU playing Alabama, and then being in that environment and actually doing it. It was a little surreal at the beginning. So yeah, it was definitely a dope experience. It was one I was looking forward to.
You got a lot of young guys on your team who have kind of been thrust, like you said, that next man mentality.
Mm-hmm.
How have you kind of led them through these experiences?
Man, I just tell them just cool, calm, and collected. You know what I'm saying? Just cool, calm, and collected. Don't let the moment be too big. Let the moment be too small. You got your job. Execute. Get things done.
We were just talking to Kyren.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, different side of the ball, but what have you seen out of him in terms of the drops and then kind of overcoming those and keeping his head on and focus moving forward?
It's like I said before, it's just, chasing improvement, and that's something that he's done, for real. I mean, we can always talk about, what he should have done and stuff like that, but, he had a really big catch for us in the game, got us in the end zone when we really needed it, and, that's an example of a dude that, doesn't let the moment get too big, doesn't let the moment get too small, and just chase improvement, and, he comes in and makes a play for us, and that's what we need from all of our players.
He was talking to us about the challenges of social media today. If you would have 3 sacks, I'm sure you'd want to maybe go read social media and compliments. But then when things don't go well, you have to avoid it. And how can that affect your mentality if you go and read that stuff?
I mean, for me, I kind of try to stay away from social media, during the week, stuff like that. People say different things. People don't know what we're doing in the building. they say all types of stuff. So for me, it's what matters. You know what I'm saying? My team, playbook, the game plan, and at the end of the day, is the right getting the opinions from the people that matter for real. And social media, it can be a distraction, and that's something I try not to let happen. And I feel like I'm confident in my game because of that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like have my own little space. If that makes sense. And,
What about Florida is kind of sticking out to you as you guys prep for them? Some things offensively that they do well.
They do a lot of motions and shift, eye candy. They got great players. So, just managing all that, making sure our eye discipline is correct. And I think that's one of the biggest things going into this game is eye discipline and just handling all the motions and shifts, the different types of like eye candy plays that they have. So, yeah.
So how would you describe just everyone's attitude after losing to Alabama? It appears you can't make it to the SEC championship, so maybe a readjustment of goals and whatnot moving forward.
So it was down for like the day after, but we have a 24-hour rule, and once that 24 hours is up, you just got to flip the script. And so now we're just focusing on Florida State. Every game means everything to us. We treat every game the same, and just because our goals aren't the same anymore, doesn't mean we don't have anything to play for. We still have LSU to play for, the state of Louisiana to play for, a ton of stuff to play for.
Kyren Lacey was just here. Can you kind of what have you seen out of him in terms of there's been some drops and some tough times, and then lately making those touchdown plays, big plays for you?
So like when I'm out there on the field, the drops, I kind of just don't even half the time I don't even know like who dropped it, but I do know when I see that touchdown, who's got the ball. I mean, that's all that matters to me at the end. And so when he makes those big plays, like when they're needed, that's all that matters to me. And yeah, he's been doing that. He's been doing great. Yeah.
Garrett, the offensive line has been so good all year long. What's it like being like a small part of just such a solid group?
Yeah. It's the offensive line. 5 people have to work together, so it's something that like everyone has a little part to do, and like we all came back from last year pretty much, so we're all familiar with each other, comfortable. Yeah, it's great. It's been going good. Watching film's been going good. So yeah.
When you see your quarterback go down with an injury and have to leave the game, how do you guys kind of respond as a unit?
It's one of those things that's like it happened, and there's nothing we can do about it now. We just gotta focus on the next play. It's just something you can't control. Like we can't control that. We just play better and just keep on working.
And then when it switches it to Nussmeier, how fluid is that transition for you guys from Jayden to Nuss?
That's good. I mean, we practice with both of them, so practice is like how that game was. Like one play he's out and put Nuss in for a few reps, and then so when he goes in, nothing changes for us. Like he calls the same things, and it's good.
And kind of focusing really on in a game like that, when it's the fourth quarter, you guys are down, and the environment is kind of getting at you. How do you try to help ease Nuss into that situation? Because you've been battling for 30 minutes, getting him up to speed with all that.
I don't know if it's so much like easing him into it, because it's hard to ease someone into a fourth quarter down by 2 touchdowns type of drive. But we just have to do what we've been doing, keep our calls up, and so it feels like normal for him. It feels just like how practice would feel, and that's probably the best way I would say to ease him back into it is just do what we've been doing and what he's comfortable with.
How did you feel that Jayden played on that big stage the other night? And should a guy be penalized because he gets injured and has to miss time when he's still, one of the best players in the country?
You mean, what do you mean by penalized?
Like in a Heisman discussion sometimes.
No, I don't think he should be penalized at all. I mean, he's been playing lights out every single game for the past 9 weeks. Like his stats say everything. Compare his stats to anyone else's stats. Like there's no reason to penalize him for being hurt.
You said you see the touchdown catches. Do you see his runs sometimes?
Yeah.
You're amazed by what he does?
Sometimes. I think last game he broke out, started running, and broke some people's ankles. And you're like, oh, well, there's 3 people down and he's still going. Like, can't be mad at that. 20 yards is 20 yards either way you go. So.
I just saw Coach Davis. He poked his head in here. I know I've asked you about him before, but what he does on the recruiting trail too, and just overall as your positions coach.
No, he's been great with us. I mean, he's always worked with us. He understands every one of us. We're all different, and he knows our personalities. So he knows how to coach each and every one of us like differently, but the same, if that makes sense. So if he has to be harder on someone or another person, maybe he has to teach more. So he understands our personalities. So he's able to work with us really well.
You've had to have some people fill in due to injuries on the offensive line. I'm curious how you felt about the play of Slancer as a freshman, kind of stepping in. I think it was Emery who's down. What have you seen from him in his growth?
You know, he's a freshman coming in, and then so when he gets in, he kind of has to kind of warm up. But once he warms up, I mean, he's a long kid, he's a tall kid, he's strong, and so I think once he gets going, gets the freshman out of him, kind of, I mean, he's unstoppable. He'll be good, yeah. So no problems with him.